it's hard to defend, and if you're going to have a good percentage, you need to have a good start. So in league, we've got that, and let's keep it going.
Power play wise at 14%, still obviously too early to tell with that.
win for the Engineers if they can really get the momentum on them out fast.
Starting goaltenders tonight, Jake Kiley for Clarkson, a junior from Eden Prairie, Minnesota. He's 3-2-0 with a .242 goals against average and a .911 save percentage. For Lyndon Marshall, the reigning goaltender of the week in ECAC hockey play. 2-3-2 overall, .324 goals against, .909 save percentage. As before we get this game started, I'd like to thank the Red Star Union, which provides funding for WRPI and all the club-related activity of the Institute, including WRPI's coverage of RPI hockey, football, and baseball. A reminder, WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point to your browser, WRPI.org. You can pick up our broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So long as WRPI is broadcasting, we'll provide that broadcast on our internet feed. Once again, that's WRPI.org. Clarkson in their road greens with gold and white trim. RPI in their home whites with white helmets, red pants, white socks with black and white stripes as it's dumped into the RPI zone, and we are underway. Jake Johnson, the freshman D-man, spins it behind the goal for his defensive partner and junior Will Riley. Stolen away by the Golden Knights far circle, taken right back and lifted out of the zone by Ott. Mears Moore playing on the left wing here in this top line. RPI is stretched as far as skaters go, so Moore, who saw some time last year at forward, once again is on the wing tonight with Brady Whiffen and Donovan Ott. We'll get to the rest of the lines as they come onto the ice. This is tipped up into the air and in deep. RPI will get the first change of the game. Back to pick it up for Clarkson. Freshman Brian Hurley out of Delwood, Minnesota, former Chicago Steel. Working up the middle of the ice now comes Josh Dunn, the big centerman for the Golden Knights. There's a quick shot sticked away there by Marshall, tipped into the near corner. Battle there in the near side of the RPI zone, just underway here from the Houston Fieldhouse, 1 minute in. RPI is going to shoot it out the glass to center. Greg Morrow, junior from Edmonton, will dig for it right in front of the RPI bench. Being told just before the start of this one that head coach Casey Jones is not here. So Josh Hauge will be manning, he'll be the head man behind the bench here for the Golden Knights. Do not know why he's not here, but no Casey Jones tonight for Clarkson to start off their ECAC hockey schedule. Puck back out to center, picked up by Brady Ferner. Picked up his first collegiate point last time out against Union. Find TJ Samek, who fires it right down the middle, sticked away by Kiley, so no icing here as that puck came in from center ice by TJ Samek. Puck far side, Clarkson zone, no. Morrow battling with Leppinen. He'll lift it behind the cage for Hurley. Near side indirect, waiting for it there was Chris Clack. Tipped along into the zone, and is a new number 44 for the Golden Knights. It's Anthony Collin, and taken back over by the Engineers anyway. Pass Burgess out to center, gathered up by the Golden Knights. There's an offside play. Very obviously, Kevin Sherazin was across the line when he received that pass. 2 minutes in here, no score.
2 minutes in here, and it looks like there's a lot of energy out there for both teams. A lot of their feet are all moving very quickly. There's a lot of movement of the puck and a lot of back and forth. So there's not exactly a huge momentum going on either side of the ice right now, but either way, there's a whole lot of energy out there.
Center ice draw here, won by the Golden Knights. They'll work it up the far wall. Taking a hit there was Sherazin. Big hit in the middle of the ice. It'll be helped along by Hallbauer. Towards center, Tour Linden looking for it. This is a very youthful fourth line here for the Engineers with Linden, the freshman, Jaron Burke, a sophomore, and Nick Bowman, another freshman, as they slowly move the puck along the near wall into the zone. Kicked at by Linden, but taken out by Collin. Anthony Collin, freshman from Middleton, Wisconsin, moves it ahead. Now a shot and a save by Marshall on the left pad. The shot came from Kevin Sherazin. Engineers back the other way, they're onside. Jaron Burke moving his way into the near corner. Centering pass goes off the back of the net and around to the far side. Bowman throws a hit, puck comes free. 3-on-2 for Clarkson. Into the zone, failing on the pass there was Tisdale. Now a shot and a save. Rebound loose from the circle. Touched at by Bowman, picked up by Whiffen. He finds Burke. Jaron Burke crosses into neutral ice, finds Tommy Grant, senior captain out of Sparta, New Jersey, and then Mears Moore will flip it in deep and chase after it. Remember, he is playing forward tonight. Left behind the goal there by Aaron Tho, senior from Toronto, Ontario for the Golden Knights. Donovan Ott throws it cross ice, but out of the zone. Picked up by Riley. RPI touches up. Will Riley moves in. Riley all the way in. Around the goal, wrap around, tri-puffs free. Tie up on the far side, and only Jake Kiley sees it. If Donovan Ott could have found that puck, he might have had a chance at it there. But as it is, Kiley just covers.
Right, exactly. Just like Dave Smith was saying in the interview earlier, a lot of the goals from last weekend happened within a few feet of the net. So the Engineers are definitely looking for those scrums in front of the net to get those garbage goals, but goals are goals up there on the board. So the Engineers definitely have that strategy going as they get in real close and they get those rebounds.
Donovan Ott had 2 on Saturday. Neither of them came from, combined more than a couple feet away from the goal. So exactly right. Go to the net, you'll find one. Here's Ferner, a shot through traffic and a blocker save by Kiley. This one lifted towards center ice, gathered in by Cooper. Hands it off for Morrow. Morrow into the RPI zone. It'll be played in deep. Now TJ Samick on it. He takes a swing and misses. Now he's bottled up in the near corner with Jack Juckham. Peeled out of there by TJ Samick, senior out of St. Paul. You're going to junior from St. Paul, Minnesota. I beg your pardon. Backing up now is Morrow in his own zone. Greg Morrow near side. They wave off the icing. Puck goes behind the RPI net. Samick tried to lift it up the far side. It was broken up there by Grant Cooper. Now they tie up in the far side of the RPI zone. Nico Sturm, the only one left from that great sophomore line a year ago, with Brasso suspended and Sheldon Rempel in the NHL. There's a puck trickling in on goal, but he covered up. It hit a skate, but really good defensive play there, Haley. Everyone for Clarkson was kind of matched up with an RPI player, and that really no other option but to go to Marshall there.
Right, exactly. The Engineers definitely manned up, and they kept all the pucks to the outside, and the Clarkson Golden Knights didn't really have too many opportunities there. As you saw, the puck barely trickled to Lyndon Marshall to cover it up and scoop it up and get a whistle.
Clarkson certainly lacking that flash that Sheldon Rempel brought them last year, but they've replaced it with some size, including the man taking the draw here, Josh Dunn, 6'4", from O'Fallon, Missouri. A big kid. He's already got 5 points in 5 games for these Golden Knights. Scrapping along the near boards is Eagle. Throws a hit into Johnson. Puck goes behind the goal. Jacob Hayhurst fighting for it there. First time we said his name. 9 assists on the year. Tied for second in the country. And he has more assists than shots on goal, which is a little bit surprising if you consider the fact that he's considered more of a shoot-first center. As this has moved all the way down, this will be icing on the Engineers. 15:24 to go first period. No score, RPI and Clarkson from the Houston Fieldhouse. Any thoughts early, Haley? Obviously the icing there, but it's been a pretty even game so far.
Right, it's been a pretty even game. We're only 5 minutes in, but overall the Engineers are doing a great job of really kind of frustrating the Golden Knights out here. It looks like it's a little bit more aggressive than I'd say the Engineers are used to start off the game, but it's aggressive.
Face-off, near side corner, played behind the goal. Hayhurst runs into Cooper as it's picked out of the corner by Johnson. Gave it away. Callan, rather. Stolen away by Johnson. Worked up the boards for Burgess. Burgess is wrapped up by a pinching Greg Morrow. Burgess still, now it comes out to center. Backing up at neutral ice is Nick Campoli, a freshman from Toronto. It's shot back in. Here is Riley. Will Riley down the middle, touched into the zone by Bowman. It's on goal. Sticked away by Kiley there. Bowman, stick handling. Nice move to get free. Bowman behind the goal. Still has to try and spin away from his man. That was Jordan Schneider. And now hit into the wall by Jerry Astrin. Astrin, a sophomore from Helsinki, Finland. Now a shot by, looked like Burke went way high. Picked up on the near side by Bowman. Trying to play it back to the point. Some room there for Grant. A wrister goes wide off the glass. Burke in the far corner now. Good possession by this line here. Shot and a save. Good screen by Bowman in front. Bowman falls down. Gets back up behind the goal. One-time try, no. Off the stick of Tour Linden. Slapped back towards the point. Kept alive there by Grant. No, it's chipped out to center. Brace for the puck. And Clack is beaten to it. Played along, but stolen right back by Schneider. He'll dump into the RPI zone after crossing center. Lyndon Marshall swats it around far side. Waiting for it is Matt Harris. 7 defensemen dressing, as is per the new rule for the NCAA. You can dress 19 skaters. Engineers have gone with an extra defenseman for just about every game. Actually, correct that, every single game this year. They've gone with a 7th D. Shot coming and a save by Marshall from a tight angle far side. Trying to throw it back out in front. That one didn't go as they tie up along the near side wall. Here's more, chips out to center ice. Back to get it is going to be Hurley. He'll go behind the goal, met by Ott, who finishes off his check, but after Hurley gave it away, off to Morrow. Now back to Hurley near side. Chuckham, he gets wrapped up there. Or Jacome, rather. Stolen away at center by Hallbauer, shoots it in. This is on goal again, helped aside by Kiley. And Kiley, who started so strongly last year, the .911 save percentage, I'm being told that only due to the early struggles that Clarkson had at Penn State. He's been more solid since then. Otto Ville Lepinen plays it back for Samek. RPI looking to break out of their own zone. Hallbauer near side. Lepinen into the zone. Top of the near circle. Stopping, feeding it, looking for the backdoor play. It was intercepted nicely by Morrow. He turns it back the other way. Jacome on for Sturm. Nico Sturm into the zone. Far side. Trying to play it back to him. It pops up into the air. Hits off the glass behind the cage. Nice read by Lepinen. He'll skate it back the other way, feeding along neatly for Hayhurst. Into the zone, lost it on the stick handle, trying to play it back. Loose in the slot, shot coming wide from Riley, who jumped right into the play and had an opportunity from between the circles, just missed the net. 12:26 to go, first period. Puck tipped all the way down, will not be icing as Lyndon Marshall comes out to stop it there. Will Riley, junior captain from Toronto, Ontario, 3 points on the year and a goal and 2 assists, finds Johnson. They're trying to tip it into the zone. The play by Jerry gets them a second effort from Morello. Junior out of Slingerlands, New York, forces the pressure. They're going to wave off the icing, saying Samek could have played it. TJ Samek back to pick it up, goes behind his own goal, trying to get away from Clack there. Pass through the middle, past everybody. Going to be picked up there by the Golden Knights, Astrid. He'll try the near side. Now far side they go. Michael Underwood, another freshman for these Golden Knights, gave it away. Walking in, a feed across Jerry, a shot right on, and a save by Kiley. The best chance of the game so far for the Engineers. Billy Jerry set up nicely there by the freshman Tour Linden, but he could not miss the netminder in the middle of the net.
Right, I mean, overall, a whole lot of play there with 4 minutes of continuous hockey. And one huge thing to note is the Engineers look like they're really moving their feet, and they have a whole lot of control over the puck. The past couple games that the Engineers have played, it looks like they've kind of struggled to connect on their passes and keep control and be the first people to the puck. But tonight it looks like they're really on top of their game in that respect.
First media stoppage of the game, 11:43 to go, first period. Shots are 6-4 RPI as the folks at the rink are getting a chance to see a second chance at that Billy Jerry shot. I don't know that puck was sitting flat for him, and sometimes when that happens, you don't get a real accurate feed off the stick, and that's kind of what it looked like there.
Right, exactly. Also, it was not necessarily a weak pass, but it definitely came a little bit slow, so it was a little bit hard to set up, but I agree. I think it was a little bit floppy on the ice, but overall, a great effort on the Engineer side and great effort on the Clarkson's goaltender.
Billy Jerry looking for his first point of the year. Had a very solid freshman year last year, Jerry did. He had 7 goals and 5 assists for 12 points. Some might consider a surprise. He came in really as maybe a third or fourth liner, especially as a freshman. Not going to see a ton of ice time, but he really worked his way up the lineup, and right now playing with Morello and Danny DeGrande, the freshman from Macomb, Michigan, and really creating there. It was actually Linden who made the pass there to him, Tour Linden. But good to see all 4 lines kind of generating here so early on.
Right, exactly. It's not like there's necessarily a weak line out there. Everyone's confident, and each line is making a difference on the ice. They're all getting shots off.
6-4 on the shots. We're back to drop the puck here in the Clarkson zone, right of Jake Kiley. Where's the A for these Golden Knights? Fed across. Here's Ferner. He'll just shoot it off the end boards. Picked up there by Nico Sturm, one of the 2 very large centers on this Clarkson team. He and Dunn, both over 6'3". Here's Sturm into the zone, far side, takes a shot, shoulder saved by Marshall. Puck pops high in the air to the near circle. A couple players take a look around, see where it is. Picked up there by Moore. He'll drop it off for Ferner. Down the middle of the ice, tipped in on goal again. Kiley will hold on to this one with 3 Engineers converging. 11:14 to go. Period number 1. No score here, RPI and Clarkson, but certainly has more of the feel that we saw once the Engineers got settled in last weekend, as opposed to that first period where they were getting outshot 15-1.
Right, exactly. Last weekend it seemed like they were a bit shaky at the start, but this weekend they're definitely bouncing off the momentum that they ended with last week against Union, and that's a good sight to see, and hopefully they can keep this momentum throughout the full game. It's a 3-period game, so let's see what happens.
Draw here to the left of Kiley this time. Won by the Golden Knights. Hurley left in the corner. Back to pick it up, Clack. He'll lift it high in the air and out of the zone. Race for it. This should be icing here on Clarkson. And it's a late whistle, but it is. Another stoppage here in this 12th minute of the game is, or I guess 8th minute of the game, has taken quite a bit of time in real time to move through. But we'll have another face-off in the Clarkson zone coming up. Right.
Unfortunately, one big issue with having a lot of whistles within a few calls is a momentum shift. So hopefully either team is going to be able to push through this like breakage and play a lot.
Will Riley off the draw. Engineers win it. Clack with a nice body check on him. And Golden Knights are able to move it out to center. Maybe a chance for a 3-on-1. Far side, they move it. It's the defenseman Morrow. Pulls it back, takes a shot, and a save by Marshall. Kind of a slow developing 3-on-1. And when a defenseman leads it, a lot of times that's what happens. As Marshall was able to make the save on not a real great chance on the 3-on-1. Now Burke, drop pass here. Hayhurst into the slot. Drops it across. A shot by Riley. That one's blocked down as it was knocked down by Hurley, the defenseman there. Good build up by RPI. Now another odd man rush. 2-on-1 this time. Walking in. A backhander goes wide, and the try by Clack. That wasn't even a shot on goal as he missed it entirely. Left in the near corner now. Engineers are getting caught up ice just a bit here. Now on the Golden Knights. Didn't realize the net was there. And almost went headlong into it. That was Eagle. To the Clarkson line, but that's as far as they get. Turned back the other way. Astrid. Or Sherazin rather, takes a shot from the top of the circle, held on to nicely, easily I might add, by Marshall, and he holds on there about halfway through the first period. No score, RPI and Clarkson.
As many as there are a lot of odd man rushes for the Golden Knights here tonight against the Engineers, it seems like the Engineers are doing a great job of back checking. One thing to note was Tor Linden. He came back there when it was a 3-on-1 rush for the Golden Knights, and he was able to communicate effectively with his defenseman and really kind of take away an opportunity for the Knights there.
Draw coming up in the RPI zone. Cleared out off the glass, and now RPI looking to move it along. Stolen away and shot right back into the RPI zone, actually. Hallbauer kicks it to his own stick, takes a hit, being pressured there by the winger, Sherazin. And it's finally flipped out to center ice. Tho's going to get there, but being pressured by DeGrande. Tho, near side, towards center ice, knocked off the stick of Campoli. And now Tho back for Underwood. Michael Underwood off the near side boards, kicked at by Jerry, but he couldn't corral it. Puck pops back to Grant. Far side shot into the zone by Moore after he takes a hit in front of the Clarkson bench. And the Golden Knights will stop it up behind the goal. Here comes Astrid, far side connection. Jacome into the RPI zone, walks around Grant. Jacome down low. Keeps on trucking through a stick check, then a big hit by Grant, knocks the puck free. Thrown towards the goal, but intercepted by Harris. And now carried out by Mears Moore. He'll cross the red line. Looks to be maybe on the end of a shift, but he'll just chip it into the corner and chase after it himself. Worked back and stolen away by the Golden Knights. And now flip to center. Johnson back to pick it up in his own zone. He'll go around the net with it, leaving it there for Riley. Will Riley now far side carry. Shot off the skate. Nice corral there by Moore. He'll fire it in. He had to kick it to his stick and did it in an instant. He'll shoot it around, waiting for it, whiffing down low. On for Donovan Ott. Ott back up the wall, intercepted by the Golden Knights, and they'll move it out to center. That's Grant Cooper. He'll cross center and chip it along, trying to find John Carter McLean. Engineers bottle him up and take it away. Otto Ville-Lepinen to center, off the stick of Whiffen. Far side Burgess, back to Lepinen, just kicks it behind his leg. Little soccer move there into the zone. Gathered in again by Hurley for Clarkson, who starts things out, the breakout for the Golden Knights. 8:05 to go first period, no score. Engineers and Clarkson from the Houston Fieldhouse. Good outlet pass here, some room to work on the far side. Tisdale into the middle, a shot and a save by Marshall. Throw right back out in front. Good block there. Brady Ferner saved a goal, standing in the way of that shot as Marshall was looking the other way. So not going to go down as anything other than a block shot in the scorebook here. But Brady Ferner made a huge block there on a potential chance there for the Golden Knights. Now Ferner's going to keep it in on the far side blue line. Engineers on the attack, but the Golden Knights have it. Morrow near side. He gets hit there by Lepinen. Gathered in by Carter McLean. As puck's going to come out to center. McLean on it. Stolen back by Bowman. No, strong stick by McLean. As Bowman tries to fight for it, wins it back right to the Clarkson defenseman at their own blue line. Quickly ahead. Clack can't control. Now Bowman on for Burke. Big hit there by Morrow on Jaron Burke. They both stay up. Puck goes behind the goal. Josh Dunn on it there. Off for Eagle. Harold Ziegel into the RPI zone. Looking to center. And good back check there by both Bowman and Burke. Now they head back the other way, 2-on-2. Comes off of Burke's skate. He throws a little whack onto the hands of Underwood. And they continue to battle behind the Clarkson's goal now. 6:45 to go in the first period. We're scoreless as Eagle, little play of keep me up there with the puck. as it's worked back into the Clarkson zone. Tho down the middle, nice connection to Eagle on his backhand, hands it off, trying to give it back to him was Sherazin. And there's a pile up behind the goal. Sherazin and Grant both went down. Puck still back there with Jerry and Harris. Harris peels it out of there for Linden. Tour Linden stick handling. He'll get it as far as center. Gave it away, looking for Morello. It'll be shot into the RPI zone by Sherazin. Clarkson will complete a change. Marshall off for Harris. Back behind for Tommy Grant. Wearing the C for the Engineers is Tommy Grant, playing in his 83rd career game. He has 2 collegiate goals and 5 assists. Been a solid stay-at-home defenseman for the Engineers. Nice move there. DeGrande getting free, dropped it off for Morello. Morello looking for a lane, takes a shot over the top of the net, comes down on the far side wall. Pinching in is Riley, and a big hit there. Maybe just been a little bit of a losing of the skate edge there, but the fans liked it anyway, as it's now corralled by the Golden Knights over there. Grant Cooper, shot around behind. Waiting for it is Jerry Astrin. He takes a hit, but the puck comes free, far side for Cooper. Cooper center ice for Callan. Sandwiched coming to the zone was Sturm by a pair of Engineers defensemen, and Riley comes away with it. Donovan Ott to center. Fed behind Moore, comes off the near side boards. Touch pass there for Whiffen. Whiffen trying to walk his way in, all the way to the net. Whiffen! And where's the puck? It's under Kiley, who makes a nice save, and the fans discouraged there. They boo, but it was a good play all the way around.
That was a whole lot of good hockey right there. I think about 5 minutes straight of no whistles, and both teams really did not look tired. They looked like they were full of energy. Their feet were constantly moving. Jacob Hayhurst pulling a lot of fancy moves with his stick always. A lot of opportunities there for both teams, but overall the Engineers are really dominating. Overall it seemed like the Engineers do a great job of manning up in their own zone, which has kind of been a struggle point for them in the past. And then once they're in the offensive zone, they're really hustling to get the puck to the net, which is a huge plus.
They're going to review this play, and my initial reaction is, since it was called no goal on the ice and we don't see the puck cross the goal line, that's going to be no chance. And I'm going to stick by my initial thought there. What do you think, Haley? I
don't know. I think it looks like Kelly really kind of holds the line. It doesn't look like he even shifts, and I didn't see the puck cross the line. So I'm going to have to say no goal, unfortunately.
Absolutely. With that in mind, they'll still go through the full process of reviewing this thing. 5:06 to go. 5:06 to go in the first period. No score. RPI and Clarkson here. Shots in the game are 8-8. Shots attempted 12 to 11 RPI, and the face-offs are 6-3 Engineers. So a good period for RPI to start. I know you're at home. You probably want to have a goal. That was a great drive, a net drive there by Brady Whiffen, showing what he can do with his strength on the puck there. Wasn't able to get it to go, but good signs so far from the Engineers.
Right, overall, and compared to last weekend, like you were saying earlier against Union, when Union outshot the Engineers 15-1 in the first period, we're not seeing that tonight at all. The Engineers are matching up perfectly with the Golden Knights, and they are tied for shots right now, just barely beating them out by shots attempted. Face-offs are pretty even. There's no power plays, no penalty kills quite yet. So, I mean, looking forward into the rest of the game, power plays and penalty kills have been a bit of a struggle for the Engineers. Getting goals on the power plays and preventing goals on the penalty kills, like the basics, it's definitely something to look forward to. And it seems like they have called it a definite no goal.
Not surprising for us, of course.
Right.
Nice. It's a good save by Kiley, and in that situation, if you're the goaltender, you want to cover up as much of the bottom of the net as you can. And really, there's no opportunity to call that a goal. Even if it did cross the line, underneath him, there's no way to even see it.
Right, exactly.
Anyway, we'll have a draw coming up in the Clarkson zone in just a moment. As I know my mom is listening at home, and she says she wants a goal. So
who doesn't want a goal?
The Engineers. Hopefully, the Engineers are listening. We have, I'm not sure what the delay here is now. They might just use the review as one of the media stoppages, which is fine by me.
Gives both teams a bit of a breather after a whole long period so far. A lot of energy, a lot of foot movement.
Face-off win here for the Engineers. Back to TJ Samick, off for Ferner, just dumps it into the far corner. Battle for the puck there between Connor McCarthy, first time we've seen him on the ice for Clarkson, and Donovan Ott. Puck behind the goal. Ott trying to jam it in. Still Ott trying to wrap it around Kiley, but it's cleared out to center in the end. Good effort that time. Now on come the Golden Knights the other way. Good poke check there by Ferner. He denied Grant Cooper, who was trying to do the same thing Whiffen did and just walk it right to the net for it. Now Sturm knocked down by Whiffen. They get tangled up behind the goal. Puck comes free to Cooper. Nice job by the officials there. They've really swallowed their whistles in this game and let the two teams play. And it's had positive results. It's from my side of things. Here's Tho in the near corner. Good battle between Samek and Jacome. And Samek fights his way onto the puck and wins it far side. He'll chip it off the boards and out to center ice. All the way down it goes. Coming up on 4 minutes to go in the first period. Some speed behind the goal from Aaron Tho, but he leaves it behind for his defensive partner, Greg Morrow. A little mixed up right now defensively for Clarkson. Now Morrow fanned on a pass. Second effort, can't get it by Jerry at center. Now trying to jump on it, DeGrande. DeGrande, a shot high off the glass. It hit the defenseman's stick on the way. That's a couple times now that Danny DeGrande's caused some problems in the defensive zone for Clarkson, RPI's offensive zone, forcing a couple of turnovers. He had set up the Jerry chance, so that might have been Linden. Either way, he's done a nice job on the forecheck so far here tonight. Now a good play at the line, keeps it alive for Morello in the far corner. Jake Morello now digging it out towards the half wall. He'll cycle, race for it there. First one to it is Eagle. Eagle off the near side for Clack. Clack's pass hit Morello, glove down here by Hayhurst. Hayhurst trying to work it up the near wall. He's pinned up there. Lifted along by DeGrande, who quickly goes off on a change. In deep to pick it up is Hurley for Clarkson in his own zone. Met by Hayhurst. They scrap for it there. Does a nice job to work it up the wall, and it'll be Callan to just chip it out to center ice. Nice job to touch up by Hayhurst. Gets it across the line. Astrid. Far side connection off a skate picked up by Tommy Grant. He'll shoot it right back into the Clarkson zone. Jake Kiley stops it there. Two defensemen back to help. Near side Morrow thrown down the middle, nearly intercepted by Hayhurst. But it's carried on further out to center ice. Here come the Golden Knights. Sherazin into the zone on his backhand. Good breakup by Hallbauer to deny that centering pass. Puck went behind the goal. Hallbauer through Lepinin. It'll be gathered up and shot near side. Sherazin into the RPI zone. D-to-D pass, finding Hallbauer. Hallbauer down the middle, finds Burke. 3-on-2 now. A shot coming and a glove save. Rebound pops free as Kiley didn't hold it. Clarkson far side now. Campoli to the near side for Schneider, who shoots it in. Wrapping around to the corner goes. Hallbauer chips it up the wall, chopped at by Bowman. On for Burke again. Jaron Burke's been active early. Nice drop pass in for Bowman. Bowman walking in. A shot and it's blocked down. Into the far corner it goes now. It's Tuur Linden. Taking a shove there was Burke, and now he's on his knees on top of the puck in the far corner. Under 2 to go in the first period. No score, RPI and Clarkson from the Houston Fieldhouse. It's the first ECAC hockey game of the year for the Golden Knights, the third for the Engineers, who swept Union last weekend. That's always fun to say. Tie up just across the line, touch of the puck on Sturm. Golden Knights are offside. We get a stoppage.
A whole lot of opportunities there that RPI presented for themselves, and they really prevented all the opportunities that the Golden Knights tried to get. Again, the Engineers are doing an awesome job of keeping all the Golden Knights to the outside of their of the Engineers' defensive zone, and there's no opportunities that are going to be created from the outside, really. Linden's going to stop all of those shots from the outside, and the Golden Knights are struggling to even get those shots from the outside. So the Engineers have a great defensive zone and an offensive zone tonight. Shots
11-8 RPI. As they win their center ice draw here. Will Riley looking to navigate the neutral zone. Still Will Riley, knocked off his stick. Clack can't control. Picked up by Tho in the far corner of his own end. Now Underwood near side. Shot up the near side boards and all the way down the ice. This will not be icing. They wave it off. Will Riley takes a hit but works up the far side to Grande. He threw it right into the man in front of him. That was Dunn. Dunn trying to lift it into safety behind the goal. He's tied up by a pair of Engineers. Coming up on a minute to go in the first period here. As it's worked up near side for Morello. Chipped in deep, Tho back to get it. Wraps around behind now Underwood. Up the wall, 47 to go in the first period. Good connection done, a little bit of room to work near side. Trying to make a move on Samek. Samek ties him up, puck comes to the near side where they tie up in the corner. Back to the point, shot by Morrow, redirected, they score, it's done with 34.6 seconds to go in the first period. A pretty play all the way around, and Clarkson's on the board first.
It's almost impossible to defend those and stop those deflected shots, so Clarkson did a great job of opening up the front of the net, and they just got a lucky bounce. But a goal is a goal, and the Engineers still overall had a great defensive zone play right there.
Good shot from the point. Good tip by Dunn. That's his 4th goal of the year.
Overall, an unlucky bounce for the Engineers, but energy can still be high.
Face-off win here, center ice. Shot in by Grant as it's wrapping around to the near side. Lepinin lost it. Sturm picks it up. Far side, flipped off the boards. Center ice, Burgess. He'll gather in his own zone, plays it back for Samick. Near side, Hayhurst. Center ice connection behind Burgess, carried back the other way quickly by Sherazin. A little bit lackadaisical there from the Engineers, and Sherazin's shot is held onto, make that Sturm, held onto by Marshall. Now a couple players need to be separated. Sherazin and Hayhurst get tangled up behind the net. 6 seconds to go, 6.8 left in the first period. Clarkson has scored in this final minute, and a nice tip by the freshman Josh Dunn.
I'm unsure if you saw right off the face-off, there was a pretty big hit in front of Clarkson's net, or in front of Clarkson's bench, and so I think the aggression's getting up there a little bit, as you just said, that they had to be separated by the referees. So their tension's a little high right now with 6 seconds left in the first period with Clarkson up 1-0.
Face-off coming up here in the RPI zone. It's done from Morrow and Cooper, making it 1-0 Golden Knights. 1 second, and that'll do it for the first period of play. 1-0 is the Golden Knights lead. Have a rather lengthy interview that ECAC Hockey has provided us. Bernie Corbett does a great job every year talking to coaches and players midweek, so we have that interview. We'll get to it pretty quickly here. But any quick thoughts here about that first period? Obviously the late goal, a little bit of a downer here for the Engineers, but still plenty to be happy about play-wise.
Right, I mean, quick thoughts. The Engineers and the Golden Knights had an awesome first period. They both came out with a lot of energy. Their feet were moving. Both of them had a lot of shots on net. RPI was beating the Golden Knights with face-offs here, 10-3, but overall, huge start for both teams.
All right, we'll get to that interview right now. It's 1-0 Clarkson. You're listening to live coverage of RPI Hockey, 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy.
Let's sing that new song. My music track from my modem jack plays MP3s, and I download fast.
goal as we can, and also to know that it's not easy. And you've got prepared coaches and prepared programs coming in that they want to do the same thing. So to me, that's the best. You've got everybody confident and trying to win, and you throw it all on the ice, and the best team will get 2 points at the end of it.
Once again, welcome inside the Houston Fieldhouse. ECAC hockey action on 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. Perry Lascaris and Haley Miller from the Houston Fieldhouse. And 1-0 Clarkson after one period here. Haley getting set to start the second. I have to figure if the Engineers come out like they did in the first, there's every reasonable chance they could have to tie this thing up.
Right, exactly. If they come out the way they did in the first period, I think they'll be off to a great start. And even though Clarkson is up 1-0, it was late in that first period, and there wasn't too much time for the momentum to shift down and have the Engineers deflate. So hopefully they come out not deflated, and hopefully they come out exactly like they did the first period and put in a goal early on, maybe to get the momentum even back more. There's a lot of hype going on in the stands right now. We have 2 pep bands from Clarkson and RPI, so hopefully the energy will translate into a goal for the Engineers.
Drop the puck here in the second. 5-on-5 hockey. We still don't have a penalty in this game, as the Engineers get it deep now, skating from left to right across your radio dials, as it'll be moved in by Jacome. Jacome pulls it back, trying to center, goes through everybody. Picked up on the far side by Mears Moore. He'll chip it out to center ice. Waiting for it is Ott. They wave off the icing as it goes all the way down. Picked up by Aaron Tho. He spins back towards the far side and shoots it around for Michael Underwood. Big hit far side. Puck comes free, and that goes out of play. We'll get a stoppage 33 seconds in. It's 1-0 Clarkson here. And Golden Knights getting that very late goal. It was a real nice tip, though, by Josh Dunn for his 4th goal of the year.
It was definitely a pretty goal, but Lyndon Marshall didn't have much of a chance against it, unfortunately. So, I mean, Clarkson is coming off that energy, and they have that goal up there on the board. So they have the confidence, while the Engineers kind of have to make that back up.
Face-offs are now 11-3 RPI. So the Engineers doing a great job on the draws, and they win this one, too. Back to Ferner. And now fed along off Morello, stick in deep. They're onside. Billy Jerry on the chase. Sophomore out of River Falls, Wisconsin. Pinching in Ferner, a shot. He hit the back of the net. Made the net ripple, but for the wrong reason, as it caught it on the other side. Now good pickup by Morello right at the blue line. Spins it right back in deep. Kiley stops it there. Back to pick it up, Hurley. Hurley pestered by DeGrande, but staying on the puck now is Morrow. Plays it back around for Hurley, past him, Eagle over to get it. Has a man breaking, it's Clack, leaves it off for Dunn instead. Into the RPI zone, Ferner steers it near side, now picked up by DeGrande, who just chips it to center ice. Gathered in there by Hurley on the glove, knocks it down across, and played up by Schneider. Into the RPI zone now, Brady Ferner back over to get it. Freshman from Dakota Dunes, South Dakota. Had his first assist last time out against the Dutchman. There's a quick shot by Sheraz, an easy pad save, but the rebound pops all the way to the point. There's a shot that redirects wide on the blue line. Try there by Astrin, as Marshall was leaning the wrong way. Now back comes Schneider into the RPI zone on his backhand. Centering pass on a one-time stop there by Marshall, point blank. It was, looks like Sherzan again going hard to the net. Now there's a tie-up in the far corner. A couple of players went down, including Jerry, as they continue to scrap for it. Astrin's there, poked at and flipped in deep. First one to it will be Callan. Callan, the freshman from Middleton, Wisconsin, digs for it behind the goal. Another Wisconsinite, Jerry, clears it out off the glass and down. This should be icing, and it misses the net. Will be icing on RPI. 17:43, a good start to the second for Clarkson here. They kind of had the Engineers bottle up a little bit for the first minute or two.
Right, I was going to say it seems like there's a little bit too much possession with Clarkson in their offensive zone for Dave Smith's comfort, probably. They got a couple shots off there. Even though they weren't on net, they're probably causing Lyndon Marshall to shake a little bit in that net as they're getting a lot of these shots off, and they're starting stronger in the offensive zone.
Tie up off the draw. Engineers eventually win it back behind the cage. Sturm is run into there by Ferner. Kind of used the net to his advantage, did Ferner, and toppled Sturm, the 6'3" junior from Augsburg, Germany. As the Golden Knights go cross ice in their own zone. Now Sturm a little bit of speed into the offensive zone. Far side, walks around Samek. Sturm all the way to the front of the net. His one-hand centering pass was easily turned away, though, by Samek. Now chipped along, maybe a chance here for the Engineers. Moving in with it is Hayhurst, waiting, looking for a feed. Still Hayhurst. He'll spin it back towards the far side, off the wall. Stepping in, Harris lost it on the stick handle. No, throws it high off the glass and in deep. Chipped around to the near side, Grant pinching in. One back, however, by the Golden Knights. Underwood to center. Now a 2-on-1 for Clarkson. McLean walking in. A shot and a shoulder save by Marshall. Another odd man rush here. I think it's their third of the game for the Golden Knights. Now back comes Harris for RPI. Near side carry. Flipped along. Stolen away by McCarthy. Shot up the far side. Dunn. He collides there with Grant. Couple of big bodies. And it's Dunn who comes away with it in the far corner. Grant comes right back after him. Back to the point. McCarthy, a one-timer, goes way wide off the glass behind the goal. High off the boards, maybe. Now Eagle looking to center. Dunn and Grant still paired up there. They continue to go at it. And winning that battle, at least as far as possession goes, is Grant, as the Engineers take it right back away. Now they have it in their own zone. Tommy Grant near side, shoots it up the wall, past Eagle, tipped in deep to the, yes, a touch for Ott means no icing here. Dunn lifted up the board, stolen away by Hallbauer. Nice play by Hallbauer, being hooked. Oh, referee thought about it. We still don't have our first penalty. Anyway, puck in the far corner for Whiffen. Shot coming. Save made Mike Kiley on a tight angle shot by Moore. And it'll be skated out to center by Harold's Eagle. Eagle far side waiting for it. Takes a hit from Whiffen and dumped there. Back comes Hallbauer. Ahead for Ott. Stops at the blue line, but across it, he'll spin it deep. 15:35 to go, second period, 1-0 Clarkson. They scored late in the first. Whiffen, tie up far side. Picked up and carried out by Collin. Riley intercepts in his own blue line. Quickly ahead, tipped in deep by Whiffen. Hits off the end wall, first one to it, Bowman. Nick Bowman in the far corner, trying to work his way back down low. He's wrapped up there by McCarthy. Behind the goal now, it's Schneider for Clarkson. Trying to read it there was Hallbauer. Linden touches up and Hallbauer chips it right back in. Better here from RPI as this period has progressed. They're keeping the pressure on, as now it will be eventually the Golden Knights to move it out to center, and it's Schneider. This group is a bit tired here. I think they're going to look to try and get it changed if they can. Fed down the middle. Puck pops high in the air. It'll come down in the near corner of the RPI zone. Ferner has his man tied up. And now stolen away by Morello. Near side for Linden. Tour Linden on the move. Scored his first collegiate goal last time he was here on an empty netter. Cross-ice feed for Bowman. Drop pass, Samek a drive. And that one went wide. It'll carry him all the way out of the zone and back into RPI territory. Marshall shoots it near side. Sturm trying to feed it in front. Good tie up there by Samek. Had his man stick all wrapped up. That was Tisdale. And nothing came of that play. Chipped up the wall. Morello makes sure it gets to center ice. Heavy off a skate to the line. Whacked at by DeGrande and picked up by Morrow. Morrow behind the goal. Shooting it far side. Nearly picked off by Morello. And they keep it in the zone. It's 2-on-2 in there. Morello, circle, shooting! And a save made by Kiley. Puck chops around to the near side. Grant pinching in. Tommy Grant in the corner. Trying to step his way across. Fed to the side of the cage for Morello. He can't corral it there. To the far corner it goes. Gathered in by Hurley. Engineers fans trying to get into it here. Shots are 13 apiece, but it's 1-0 Clarkson with 13:43 left in the period. Shot at an easy stop by Marshall. Ricochets to the near side where it's gathered in by Hayhurst. He'll stick handle to center. Hayhurst navigating the neutral zone. Staying on side was Leppinen. Stolen away by the Golden Knights. Just one man in there. It was Jacome. He'll actually just swat it in deep. Grant with it here. Off the near side boards. On for Burgess. Todd Burgess on the move. The Ottawa Senators draft pick gets it in deep. Now he wraps up with Underwood. They continue to do battle in the near corner of the Clarkson zone. As puck's not going anywhere. We may get a whistle here. You don't see it a lot in the men's game. Usually they wait for him to move it out of there. Now Otto Ville Leppinen a steal in front. Leppinen a shot and a save by Kiley. He never quite got everything he wanted on it. Still loose. We got a penalty coming up here. It's going to be on the Engineers. And the fans aren't going to like this one. 12:55 to go in the second period. It's a 1-0 Clarkson lead and a power play coming up for the visitors.
I mean, a lot of opportunities presented there for both teams. RPI seemed to have gotten a little bit more into the zone as this period progressed a little bit more. They started off a little bit slow. They didn't have quite the momentum that they had going into that first period. But this second period, a little slower at the start, but now it looks like they're kind of back on their A game like they had in the first period. Unfortunately, this penalty might have come at a bad time for the Engineers. The Engineers have always struggled a little bit this season with the penalty kill, so we'll see what Dave Smith has organized for this setup.
I was going to say, the officials have done a really good job, Haley, but of all the penalties they might have been able to call, that might have been one of the weaker ones.
Right, exactly. As much as there was a little bit of an extra push, it's an aggressive game, and that was a bit of a questionable call, especially since there was a scrum in front of the net.
Yeah.
But I guess they figured they kind of have to start calling things before it gets out of hand.
At some point, I guess you have to call a penalty. That might have not have been the one I chose. I think Bowman was tripped up on his way into the zone about 3 or 4 minutes ago.
Right, exactly.
Could have been a penalty too.
It was it was way more obviously a penalty. The stick was in the air, wrapped around RPI. I don't know.
Right. A hook or a trip. But anyway, our first penalty comes a little bit questionable here, but as we mentioned, it is the first penalty of the game, and right, you don't want to get too much back and forth stick work there. Someone's going to get hurt, so you have to maybe draw the line. That's what they did. RPI fans certainly don't agree. But anyway, first power play chance here.
Right, and this penalty was called pretty late in the game. The referees, like you were saying, have kind of stayed out of the game a lot.
First power play for Clarkson. Engineers on the kill this year. Currently 81.5%, as that one's on goal, saved by Marshall. 81.5%, 22 of 27. But remember, they gave up 4 power play goals in the first game of the year. They've given up 1 since.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a lot of improvement that Dave Smith has been implementing on the ice. Better setup, more control, more relaxed out there, as you can see as the season has been progressing. So hopefully the Engineers can keep that sense of relaxed and controlled atmosphere that they've been improving upon with their penalty kill.
Clarkson on the power play, 4 out of 18 for this season. They're 22.2%, which is a pretty good number if they can keep it up. As Engineers win the draw defensively. Last year on the power play, Clarkson was 25.9%, which is pretty spectacular for a season. They scored 42 power play goals. So a potent power play last year, of course, now without Rempel this season, and no Brasso, who's suspended, Devin Brasso. So a couple of their 2 more talented forwards not in the lineup. As Jacome, still one of the youngsters that can still really wheel for this Clarkson team, is on the power play now. Now Sturm near sides. They set up the umbrella. Far side connection. Hurley. Top of the zone. Morrow. Watched by Linden. Near side Jacome. Back for Morrow. And now far side Hurley. Looking for a lane. Lost it. And it's stolen away by Samek, who shoots it all the way down. And RPI will get a change halfway through the penalty kill. First power play for either team comes. Now have under 12 to go in the second period. 1-0 Clarkson. Jacome into the zone. Drops it off for Sherazin. He fell down, and now the Engineers might want to skate shorthanded. 3-on-2. Whiffing in. Hands it off for Ott. He'll take a wrist shot. Easy pad stop for Kiley. Saw it all the way. But if nothing else, this wastes a little bit of time here on the kill. Now Ott has the puck tied up in the near corner of the Clarkson zone. Finally, the Golden Knights able to dig it out, and it's Jacome again. Jacome leaves, chips it deep. Riley there, pries it away from him. Now Harris up the near side boards, little chip whiff and trying to get it out. Can't do so, kept in. Astrin across the blue line, making a change there. They had too many men on the ice on the Golden Knights, as it was touched by McCarthy before his teammate left. So that'll do it for the power play. 21 seconds left on it. And we're going to get a 4-on-4 here for 21 seconds.
Right, exactly. So here's an interesting play that the Engineers have. They have 21 seconds before they're on the power play. So once they're on the power play, it'll be interesting to see what their setup is, see if they can kind of get this goal back up there on the board and tie up the game, since they will be presented with this opportunity. That was kind of a dumb penalty for Clarkson to take hold of. So hopefully the Engineers are going to be able to capitalize on it and get shots on net, but good shots on net, and keep control in the offensive zone and do what they have to do, as I'm sure they've been working on it. As they don't have the best of luck on the power play, they don't always put the puck in the net like they need to on the power play. So hopefully they have integrated a bit of a different strategy for tonight.
Too many men on the ice at 8:44.
So we'll play 4-on-4 hockey here. Face-off coming up. RPI will get a power play.
Power play for RPI.
As it's worked up the near side boards. And now they go D to D. Tho. And now they play catch. Penalties over, so RPI is going to go on the power play here as it's shot all the way down. They can do that legally, of course, after the power play expires. So now RPI will set up its first power play. The Engineers on the season, 14.3%. And shot in by Johnson. And now fed across. Here's Ott up top. Johnson faked a shot, pulls it back off and finds Hayhurst. He'll take one that's deflected wide in front. That was Whiffen on the redirect. Stolen away by Whiffen. A cross pass behind Johnson. There's a left-hand shot. And tries to keep it in the zone, but it's forced out nicely by Clack. A good hip check there by Johnson. Penalty, 50 seconds left on it. Riley trying to walk his way in. He gets dumped on his way to the net. Kiley will cover up. 44 seconds to go on this power play for RPI. They're first of the game. We're halfway through the second period.
Right, they have 44 seconds to kind of get a good setup. The Engineers have not had the chance to open up the ice in the offensive zone on this power play, so it'll be interesting to see if they're able to do this now that they have a face-off here in the offensive zone. Hopefully they can win this face-off like they've been doing all game with a 14-5 winning percentage of these face-offs.
Face-off, Engineers win it. Nice play by Moore to spin around. He'll take a shot. It might have been deflected. It goes wide. Now a clearing effort all the way down the ice. 30 to go on the RPI power play. 1-0 Clarkson leads. 9:40 to go in the second period as Moore gets dumped after getting rid of the puck. Sturm will go off on a change on the kill. Maybe one more rush here for RPI on their first man advantage. It was an abbreviated one. Behind the goal, Kiley tries to slow it down. Morrow can't clear, kept in by Moore. And this one gets deflected out of the zone, was it? Let's say Moore lifted out on his own, so no deflection. The face-off to center. You are listening to live coverage of RPI Hockey, 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy, Perry Lascaris and Haley Miller from the Houston Fieldhouse.
Downtown Troy. The Flowers by Pisha, fan of the game.
Draw coming up at center. So maybe a bit of a tough break there for RPI as the faceoff comes outside the zone. They have 8 seconds left on their power play. Shots are 16-15 Engineers, but they continue to trail by a single goal. Faceoff win at center, another win. RPI has won 3 times as many faceoffs as Clarkson has, as that one's in from center, but wide of the net, gloved down by Kiley anyway. Out of the box comes Yoki Hario, who was serving the too many men call. Still no word on why there's no Casey Jones on the Clarkson bench. But right now, assistant coach Josh Hauge, was a big hit, was thrown in the corner by DeGrande, who continues to make his mark on this game. Don't know why there. Good tie-up by Burke, and now trying to break the center is Samick. Couple of defensemen, it's Hallbauer and Samick. A shot coming, and Samick just missed wide as the 2 D-men were rushing back the other way. Now Yoki Hario, who hasn't seen too many shifts tonight. He's going to say, while I'm out here, I'm going to stay. He just came out of the box. He was the one serving that penalty. Anyway, the Engineers get it deep. Shot around by Underwood. Going to be kept in by Bowman on the far side. Knocked down there by Morello. He fanned on the pass. Touched out to center ice. Waiting for it is Sherazin. Kevin Sherazin, sophomore from Jameson, PA. Gets as far as the RPI blue line. Engineers turn it back the other way where it's gathered in by Underwood. Near side Sherazin. They're just barely onside. Didn't think they were. It becomes a moot point. It's shot back out to center. Gathered in by Harris. He makes a little stick handle, but then loses the puck as he gets towards the Clarkson zone. The Golden Knights take over again. Snapped across by Tho. Into the zone comes Campoli. All the way around the net, Nick Campoli poked off his stick, and now here's Harris. Lifted off the boards and gloved down. Nice play at the blue line. And a whistle comes in for carrying the puck, says Dan Taggart, linesman on the near side. He saw it from all the way across the ice. 7:32 to go. We're going to get a media stoppage here. It's 1-0 Clarkson. Shots are 16-15. The 2 penalties, the only 2 penalties of this game, came back to back here. Nothing to show for it either way, though.
Right, exactly. Neither team were successful on their power plays, but overall, there were no goals scored against either team when they were killing the penalty, so that's a plus. RPI, like I said earlier, they kind of struggle with that, and they unfortunately kind of get a lot of goals scored on them when they're on the penalty kill. So they've adjusted to that, they've learned from it, and Coach Dave Smith has done a good job of teaching them how to stay relaxed and just cover their men and do their jobs in the defensive zone once they get into trouble. And there was a good play where instead of clearing the ice and allowing Clarkson to go chase it down in their defensive zone when RPI was on the penalty kill, one of the skaters for RPI decided to just skate the puck up and waste some more time and kill the play a bit more, which ended up with an opportunity, a shot on net. So it was a good eye for the Engineers in that sense.
And you feel like the Engineers maybe lost a little bit of their momentum when the second period started. Clarkson has some early pressure, but RPI able to fight back right up until that penalty. The penalty really kind of took the sails out of RPI, I thought. Is that what kind of the same feeling you had? RPI had the pressure going, a couple of chances. Leppinen had the chance right in front of the goal, but then the cross-check on Burgess maybe kind of slowed their sails down a little bit.
Right, exactly. There definitely was a bit of a weird shift in momentum, energy, whatever it was when the two penalties were called, especially the first one against the Engineers. So, like I said earlier, the Engineers kind of had a slow start to this second period, but then they picked it up, and then this penalty, I think, killed that again.
Well, still time to turn things around here in this second period. 7.5 to go. Puck out to center. Hurley's going to lift it in the air towards his own bench far side. Lifted along by Jacome, who just runs right into Johnson. And now Jake Johnson over to pick it up. Freshman from Bloomington. Nice feed for Burgess. 2-on-2 as they hit the Clarkson line. Burgess, a wrister. Blocker save. Comes free. Leppinen, a shot that's deflected off a body to the near side. It's gathered up by Nico Sturm. He'll wrap it around far side, waiting for it. Morrow. 11 periods now without a goal against Clarkson for the Engineers, and we get a whistle and an offside call. 6:57 on the clock. The last RPI player to score against Clarkson was Riley Bourbonnais 2 years ago in a playoff game in Potsdam. So it's been a while since the Engineers have scored a goal. They haven't scored against Kylie, I believe, since then. So long time coming. Hopefully the Engineers get one soon.
Right, exactly. I was going to say it's a long time coming. It's a definitely much needed goal in many respects. Like you were saying, if they haven't scored against Clarkson in 2 years, they definitely need to get a goal. And now that they're down 1-0, they are definitely going to need to get two up there.
Tipped into the crowd. Watch out on the near side. That nearly cut the RPI TV folks down in the near corner. Hopefully they're okay. I think it went in the crowd.
And after we were just talking about how there's a bit of a weird energy shift on the ice after that first penalty, all these calls are definitely going to affect the gameplay also. There's a lot of stoppages. Not everyone's moving their feet. Not everyone has that same energy. And it's going to be an interesting next 6 minutes and 50 seconds.
Yeah, it seems like the more open play there is, the better the Engineers have played in this game. As it's chipped up the wall, gathered in by Underwood. Near side shot in by Dunn. Waiting for it, Samek. He'll have to try and beat Clack to it. Chopped at by Whiffen. And now Moore in the far side. Back to Whiffen behind the RPI goal. Engineers looking to break out. Moore can't control that one. Underwood pinned against the far side. Half wall by Mears Moore. Senior from Duluth. I don't think this puck's coming out of there. Finally, we get some separation there. Swatted behind the net by Samek on the centering try. He'll push it up the wall. Takes a look, does Ott, fires it right to the tape of Underwood, who turns it back the other direction, and they're offside here at the line. And Samek, as Eagle took a big windup on that offside play, Samek wanted to make sure that puck was nowhere near his stick. Stoppage here, 6:06 to go. We continue to grind a little bit through the second period, 1-0 Clarkson leading.
Yeah, the second period has definitely had a bit of a different vibe out there on the ice. Clarkson came out really strong, the Engineers not so much, and then it started to become a little bit more evenly matched. Both teams were really putting the pressure on each other, but now it's a lot of stoppages in play. There's not too much gameplay right now.
Flipped along into the RPI zone. Taking a look is Callan. Anthony Callan kicking it to himself. Now towards the point, didn't get there, but went right to the tape of Campoli. Now Schneider pinching in up the near side boards. Callan fighting off Hallbauer. Tight angle shot and a save by Marshall, as it was the stick of Yoki Hario, the senior from Tampere, Finland, who just ripped it from no angle, and Marshall had that post covered, thankfully, for the Engineers.
Right, exactly. Linden really had his post covered there. He was strong on there. I don't think that was going to go through, but maybe Clarkson was hoping for the rebound, but there also weren't too many people in front of the net, and RPI had it pretty well covered.
And now we get a media stoppage here of all things. 5:35 left in the second. 1-0 Clarkson leading. We'll get the scoring to you for that goal because it's been a while. Josh Dunn is 4th of the year at 19:26 of the first from Greg Morrow and Grant Cooper. That's been the only goal of this game so far. And both teams have had their chances. I remember first period, Billy Jerry had a chance right in front on a one-timer that Kylie made a good save on. Whiffen had that net drive that he got kind of one-on-one from kind of tight angle, tight quarters with Kylie, made a save. And then Otto Ville-Leppinen here in the second was open in front of the goal, but didn't really catch that puck real squarely, and Kylie was able to make that save. So.
Right, a lot of the opportunities are coming again, like Dave Smith was talking about, like very close within the net, within the paint of Linden Marshall and Kylie there for Clarkson. So a lot of the chances are really close, and they're going to be scrummy goals, but they're going to be goals. The deflection for Clarkson, that was close to the net, but overall, a lot of the chances that are getting the crowd on their feet have been within feet of the net.
So we'll drop the puck in the RPI zone finally. Linden against Sturm. The Sturm now a junior. Remember when he, Rempel, and Brasso were a highly touted freshman line and then a sophomore line last year. They made their NCAA tournament run. And now they've been broken up before this game, Brasso and Sturm. And Brasso serving a suspension here as a shot in from the point, swatted off the back of the RPI net. Wrapping around to the near side, Schneider. Also want to mention Patrick Polino serving a suspension for his game DQ as moving it out in front there. Maybe an extra pass for the Golden Knights. Shot coming. It's blocked, and the rebound is swatted away by Grant. Engineers hemmed in here. Astrant hands it off for Sturm. Near side for Schneider. Schneider, a shot that kicked away by Marshall, was headed wide anyway. Now Jacome, he's bottled up by Grant. Big size mismatch in the Engineers' favor there, but it's McLean who comes away with it. Poked away by Burke as they continue to scrap. Now Jacome drops it off. A shot coming. He rang it off the post. It was Astrid who caught that right pipe squarely. And the Engineers dodge a bullet there. Schneider near side circle, feeding it off the pad of Marshall. It's behind him, and it's pinned up with no signal yet, and we get a stoppage. 4:41 to go. Clarkson knocking on the door, knocking on the post even, but it's still 1-0.
Yeah, you could definitely see the Engineers there scrambling, trying to get that puck out of the zone. They were just shooting it anywhere they possibly could to get it out of the way of Linden Marshall's frontal view. So it was a bit of a chaotic shift right there for both teams. Clarkson coming out on top, but definitely with that shift, a lot of chances, a lot of shots on net, hitting the post, barely missing that next goal. But hopefully this face-off will allow the Engineers to calm back down and set up and get it out of their zone.
Shots are 17 apiece with 4:41 left in the second. Ferner off the draws and lifted along, and face-offs have been the Engineers' friend tonight against these Golden Knights. They are now up 17-10. There's a net drive there, and that time it was Dunn looking for his second. Now back comes Burgess the other way. He's 1-on-3. He'll carry into the zone near side. Going to get a slash as Samek bumps his man at the end of the play. And they'll need to be separated, but I believe RPI is going to get a power play out of this, as taking a whack on the hands was Burgess. I don't think we're going to get anything else out of it. At least I hope, because it was...
Yeah, I hope not.
Samek, if it was a real bad timing there for TJ Samek to run somebody there. But he's going to the bench. It's going to be a slash, as I mentioned, on Harold Ziegel.
Right, and for the Engineers, this is great because they're starting off in their offensive zone with a face-off. So, and like we were saying earlier many times, RPI is leading against Clarkson in face-offs 17-10. So when they win this face-off, hopefully they'll get it back to their D and set up the power play that they kind of failed to set up last time.
Second power play for RPI. Their first one was a short one, about 20 seconds short of a full 2 minutes. So their second advantage of the night comes with a little over 4 minutes to go in the second period, but a great opportunity to try and tie this game up, especially after Clarkson very nearly added to their lead moments ago. Now Hallbauer, good job to keep it in the zone, although a second effort gets it all the way down from Sturm. Stopped behind the RPI net by Linden Marshall, the sophomore from Victoria, British Columbia ECAC Hockey Goaltender of the Week for the first time this year, second time in his career. Last year he was Goalie of the Week and Rookie of the Week once for RPI. Stopped on the dump in by the Golden Knights. A little shifty move there by Tho, and he's going to clear it out to center. Hallbauer waits for a couple teammates to touch up and then fires it back in. Stop behind the goal by Kiley. Pressure comes. He finally gets rid of it, but Hayhurst nearly stole it away. To the point for Moore. Right back down low he goes. As it's Ott, I think. Yeah, Ott's got it. Ott far side. Finds Hallbauer. Back to Ott. Spins it down low. Pass Whiffen. And Morrow's going to win this race to it. Moore gloves it down and flips it up the wall. All the way down low it goes. Whiffen left in the near side corner. Hayhurst there. 42 to go on the power play. Hayhurst is pinned against the wall by Tho. And now the puck's there as well. Ott and Whiffen. 3 Engineers in the near corner. It comes loose and it's cleared out by Callan. Then RPI will have to head back all the way down, changing forwards on the power play. 25 seconds left on the man advantage. Mearsmore near side for Burgess. Burgess going to shoot it in. Stop behind the goal by Kiley. Now Bowman has a man in front if they can find him. Burgess was open, but Bowman was tied up and never has a chance to look up. 7 to go on the power play. Golden Knights going to come away with it here and look to break to center. Nico Sturm met by Ferner. Walks around him all the way to the net. He scores. Nico Sturm. It's going to be an even strength goal for Clarkson with 2:17 left in this second period. Right out of the box came Eagle. So I mentioned it will be even strength, but for all intents and purposes, a shorthanded goal. Nico Sturm doing things all by himself there.
Right, exactly. That's going to be a tough pill for the Engineers to swallow as they were just coming off the power play. However, the Engineers didn't have the strongest of power plays. They didn't have the control that they were probably looking for. It was a bit of a misconnected passes everywhere, and Clarkson did a great job of staying on top of them in the offensive zone for the Engineers and not letting the Engineers set up like they wanted to.
So 2-0 Clarkson leads. Lifted along here at center. RPI now 0 for 2 on the power play, but more importantly, it's 2-0 Clarkson on the scoreboard. As Schneider will work it out to center ice for Callan. Callan goes down, knocked down by Grant, picked up by Harris. He'll spin back towards the near side. Lifted up the wall. Billy Jerry trying to get there. Through center, all the way on the ice. No icing here. It's in on goal anyway. Kiley helps to the side with a goalie stick. Now picked up there. DeGrande drops it back. Samick at the blue line. A wrist shot deflected by Linden. And Kiley holds on. It was a good setup there. Almost out of nothing for RPI. Now we get some extra pushing and shoving as Linden and Astern are going at it.
There's been a lot of extra pushing and shoving in front of Clarkson's net, it seems like, as the Engineers their frustrations are running high, especially after that second goal. So it's going to become a little bit more aggressive, I can see, but maybe the break-in periods will help tame that a little bit as we have 1:37 left to go in the second.
Draw coming up in the Clarkson zone. As getting tossed from the dot there was Sturm, so Dunn in to take the face off. I don't know how both of them are on their ice at the same time, but who knows? Here is Samick trying to walk his way in. Turns back towards the blue line. Bottled up by Sherazin. Now Tour Linden throws a hit. Burke trying to work it free along the half wall. Still Jaron Burke. Off for Linden. Pass back towards Bowman. Was intercepted. Broken up by Sherazin. And stolen right back by the Engineers. Tour Linden into the zone. Top of the circle. Waiting. Tries to drop it back. He gets bumped. Kept in by Samick. Played out to center. Now a chance for a 2-on-1. Sturm and Dunn. Near side Dunn. Pulls it back. Fakes a shot. Penalty coming up here. It's going to be on the Engineers. Turning and shooting is Morrow. And we get a touch of the puck here. 58.5 to go in the second. And a power play coming up for Clarkson.
The officials are definitely becoming a lot more involved in this period and in the game in general. I'm kind of unsure. Oh, slashing is the call. I mean, the Engineers did a good job of back-checking there, but with back-checking comes a lot of aggression. So This is an unfortunate end to the second period for the Engineers as they're going to start with the penalty kill.
Their face-off win off the defensive zone draw. Ott clears it all the way down. So a big kill here for RPI in a 2-0 game, especially with its timing late in the period. Golden Knights get it in. Matt Harris, first one to it. He's roughed up by Astrid, but stays on his feet. 3 Engineers over there, 3 of the 4 penalty killers. As Harris continues to do battle, pops through Ott to the point. Here's Eagle, far side circle. Dropped off there by Campoli, and now Astrid at the blue line. Down low, near side goal line extended. Eagle looking for a centering pass, still heralds Eagle. One-timer wide from the slot by Dunn, right between the circles there. And now fired off a Dunn's leg into the near corner with 7 seconds left in the period. Back to the point, Astrid keeps it alive. Far side connection, McCarthy a shot. That one's blocked and the Engineers clear. And so the penalty killers do the job in that final minute. There will be a minute 2 left of power play time to start the third for Clarkson, as the Golden Knights are on their second man advantage opportunity of the game. 2-0 Golden Knights lead this one after 2 periods. Shots are 19-18 Clarkson, and face-off still heavily in RPI's favor at 20-11. So there's the bright spot if you're RPI, only down by a couple. Engineers were down 2 last Friday. They were able to come back. It only took them a period to retake the lead then, but as it were, it'll have to be the third if it's this time here for RPI.
Right, exactly. Overall, the first period was definitely stronger than the second period for the Engineers, but Clarkson kept a consistent pressure and aggression throughout both periods, so I think that's definitely why they're up 2-0 on the board right now. But overall, RPI had some spits and spurts of the pressure that they wanted to see in the second period, so hopefully they can come back out and have more of that pressure that they saw in the first period. Hopefully it can translate into the third period. Since this is a 3-period game, they had to play the full 3 periods, and unfortunately that second period wasn't exactly their strongest. So it will just kind of have to see how the Engineers treat this 2-0.
Cross-country runner, you know that rivalry pretty well, Haley, I know.
Right, exactly. We were there just a few weekends ago.
Yeah, exactly, and was it the Saints who got the better of you last weekend?
The who? Sorry.
St. Lawrence, or was it Ithaca?
So it was actually St. Lawrence
St.
against
Lawrence.
the women. Yeah, they did get the best of us with a mere few points against the girls.
I heard it was a close one.
It was very
That's
close.
That's what Coach Lynch told me.
Yeah, but the boys came out on top over everybody, which was a great big win.
Regionals coming up, I think, next weekend, right? Atlantic Regional? Is that
Yep,
next
they're
week?
running regionals this next weekend, so hopefully there's some strong numbers out there, some fast times, and hopefully all of Coach Lynch's work and the team is going to come out and prove themselves.
Hopefully cross country can qualify. Both teams made it to nationals last year, hoping for the same thing again. Right. Underway here in the third period. RPI has a minute to go on the power play. As they get it in deep, but it's quickly picked up by the Golden Knights, and Clarkson has a minute on their power play. Don't want to get that backwards. Flipped into the RPI zone. Harris shoots it off his own man's back, but it might benefit RPI here with speed. Has Ott with him, 2-on-2 shorthanded. Shot coming right on, and a save by Kiley, as Ott was there for the rebound that never came. They get a stoppage. 38 seconds left on the Clarkson man advantage.
It almost didn't seem like either team had difference in manpower out there. It looks like both teams, I mean, our engineers got a shot out there, and it was a bit back and forth. Now the engineers in the offensive zone getting a face-off here with 38 seconds left to go in their penalty kill. So hopefully they can keep it in the offensive zone and kill this penalty off.
Face-off here, won by the Golden Knights. RPI backs off here because they're still shorthanded. Now Sturm through center has the second goal for Clarkson, his second of the year. Ferner trying to smack it out far side, out of the zone. Chance maybe for a shorthanded break. He was slowed up just a bit, Morello, by Hurley, or Morello would have been off to the races. 15 to go on the Clarkson power play. Sturm with speed. This is how he scored last time, driving his way in circle. Centering pass, it goes in. I think it's going to be Sturm's goal as they all crowd around him. It's going to be a power play goal for the Golden Knights, and it's 3-0.
I think the engineers are falling back into their old habits of kind of having their eyes locked on the puck and not their eyes locked on the man that they need to be covering. I mean, Sturm came right in there. He went right to the center. He knew where the puck was going to end up in front of the net, so he got his stick on the puck just like he was hoping for, and all the engineers kind of had their heads down on the puck instead of their man, which kind of was an issue in past games, but we didn't see that in this first period of the game tonight, so it's kind of interesting that they're falling back into that bad habit.
So it is now 3-0. RPI digging a little bit deeper of a hole here. As a penalty, of course, it's a power play goal. Late in the power play. Now Burgess a shot the other way, high off the glass. Kept in by Samek. As now Burgess turning out of the corner, shoots one. It was blocked by Tho. And around to the near side it goes. Engineers trying to jump on it here. Hayhurst out of the corner, drops it off. Shot coming. Hallbauer, a save made by Kiley. I think that one got all the way through untouched. 18:25 to play in this one. Clarkson has added to its lead early. Been early goals and late goals for Clarkson in respective periods throughout this game here.
Right, I mean, overall, both teams are getting a lot of shots off. It's just Clarkson's getting a lot of those nice bounces. They're finding those open slots, and they're just really capitalizing on it. They know where their players are going to be, and they pass it right to the front of the net, knowing somebody's going to be crashing in.
Burke with a steal, shot coming, hit a body, hit Bowman, and never got to Kiley. Now pinching in is Johnson. Johnson back out to center as the puck was played there. Now past everybody. This might be icing on RPI. And we're going to a chance to catch our breaths here. 18:07 to go, third period. Clarkson adding to its lead. It's 3-0. So Clarkson scored in the last minute of the first period. Then they scored with about a little under 2.5 to go in the second. Now in the first minute of the third. So early and late goals, they tell you can be killers, and right now they have been for RPI.
Right, definitely. I mean, you can see that the engineers don't have that same foot movement like they did at the beginning. I mean, Jacob Hayhurst was really showing through in the first and second period for the most part with a lot of his fancy moves, and right now it's not really showing.
And there's another one, Jacome off the draw. It's 4-0. Never picked up Jake Jacome, and he moved his way between the circles and ripped it past Marshall. It's quickly 4-0. And we're a little over 2 minutes into the third period.
Definitely not the start to the third period that the engineers were looking for, but definitely the start of the third period that the Golden Knights were looking for, as they know that RPI has their head down right now. They are going to have to answer with a lot of pressure right now in order to keep that score there / get a goal up there on the board.
So RPI trying to right the ship here. That's an even strength goal for Jacome, his second on the year. As now it is Harris for RPI. Matt Harris, cross ice feed through the intended target. That was DeGrande. And now Sturm ahead. Nice touch pass. Jacome into the RPI zone. 1-on-3. Still Jacome in the corner. Shoots it off the end boards. Picked up by Harris on the near side. Takes a look around. He'll lob it in the air. Pass Ott. Bouncing puck. Turned back the other way by Dunn. Good catch by Eagle. Well, he was offside. He might have put himself that way. We get a stoppage here. 17:14 to go. Clarkson has opened up a 4-0 lead. 2 quick goals here in the third have really kind of taken the energy out of this crowd, which is, I've been told, 4,500 at the Houston Fieldhouse, which is a big one. Face off here. Samick ahead, tipped along by Morello. And now Moore shoots it off the back of the net. Jerry lost it. And now Eagle rather, for Sherazin. Sherazin shoots it around. Picked up by Samick. He has a chance to look up ice and does, finding Moore. Tips it towards goal. Helped along by Kylie. Engineers still haven't scored in 4 games here against Clarkson. Now walking his way all the way in. Not going to have a penalty come of this as Dunn walked his way through. Fed back McCarthy. Oh, he lost the puck. Took his eye off it as he moved into the circle. Now Grant. Far side of his own zone, Tommy Grant. Wings it ahead. Nice pass to Hayhurst. Hayhurst walking in 1-on-2 as his teammates change behind him. Hayhurst loses an edge and goes down. McCarthy across ice feed. Fed through neutral zone. Picked up by Harris now. Tipped along by Lepinin. Hurley back to get it. The tie up along the far side boards. Puck comes free to Johnson, on for Harris. Now the goal for RPI has to just be get a goal. Get the monkey off their backs here against these Golden Knights. Trying to feed it far side. Good tie up there by Linden. Pass to the middle from Lepinin was intercepted. And steered around behind by Campoli. Down the middle of the ice, just off the bench, Ferner steals it away, finding Johnson. Johnson shoots it off the near wall for Burke. Jaron Burke trying to stick handle through center, just fires it off the far wall. Ferner will shoot it in deep. Wrapping around McCarthy, takes a whack from Burke, picked up there by Sturm. Glove down at the blue line by Bowman. He gets upended, but does move it into the zone. And now it's gathered up by McCarthy again. Lob to center. Ferner across for Burke. Engineers have to touch up. They do. Burke, a cross ice feed for no one in particular, through a couple of teammates. And sent back the other way for Jacome. Lobbed on for Sturm. 1-on-1 with Samick. Sturm trying to walk his way in. Good defense by Samick. Broke it up with a skate. Engineers will steer it the other way. Far side out to center. Pass behind Bowman. Keeps it moving. Bowman has a man trailing. It's on. Bowman, a shot. Save made. Rebound loose. Picked up by Ott. Ott shoots. Stopped by Kylie. And the goaltender holds on. Another good opportunity there for RPI. Now Sturm and Ott need to be separated. There's actually 3 Golden Knights who have attached themselves to Donovan Ott, who has some more words for the Clarkson players there.
Right, that was a great aggressive play by Donovan Ott and a supporting RPI engineer there. They definitely communicated there and they supported each other, as puck support is a huge aspect of crashing the net. So picking up on that rebound was a vital part of that opportunity that they got there, and you could see the Clarkson Golden Knights were frustrated as they gave Ott a little more after the play.
Face-off coming up as the Golden Knights have it. Eagle, far side connection into the zone now. Tisdale broken up by RPI near the line. Now it's out to center. And now Hallbauer across for Harris in his own zone. Matt Harris, far side, throws it through to Grande. Picked up by Tho for Clarkson. Trying to play it down the middle for Eagle. Bouncing puck skips by him. Turned back the other way. DeGrande into the zone far side. Winds up a slap shot and a save by Kylie. He holds on. And DeGrande, an exciting player. We saw him score a nifty goal in the exhibition game. Haven't seen that come fully to fruition here in a regular season game, but not afraid to throw his body around, not as afraid to skate fast and whip the puck, and that's what he did with that slap shot there. Good chance there for the Engineers. 14:04 to go in the third period. 4-0 Clarkson. Shots are actually 24-21 RPI. Good connection to center. It's Callan into the RPI zone. Takes a hit from Johnson. Down low they go. And now Dunn tries to throw it back to the point. Kept in there. Shot by Schneider. Blocked by Moore, who reached out with the stick. Gathered in by Yoki Hario. Off for McCarthy. Down low, intercepted by Morello. Finds Grant, who turns back towards his own zone to get away from some pressure. Clarkson's going to back off and set up the defense of this breakout. Tipped along by Moore in deep. RPI gets a partial change as Moore chases. Schneider around behind for Sturm. Nico Sturm, cross-ice feed through everybody. This should be icing on Clarkson. It is. We get a stoppage here. 13-17 to play. 4-0 Golden Knights lead. They scored 2 quick ones in this third period to really maybe put this game out of reach for RPI.
Right, as much as it seems out of reach, both teams have played a great game. RPI's leading in shot count on goal. So unfortunately, the stats don't really add up to what the score is showing. Clarkson's just been kind of capitalizing on the opportunities that they've had, but RPI is kind of lacking in that final push to get that goal.
Face off in the defensive zone for Clarkson. They win it. Callan, he's bottled up by Burgess. Puck comes free to the point for Samek. Now a wrister by Hallbauer hits a skate and goes wide. Picked up by Burgess now, dropping it back, trying to find Bowman, and the pass was broken up at the last moment. Callan to center ice, swatted at by Samek, back for Hayhurst, back to Samek. Callan there in the RPI zone, stolen away by Clack. Clack, a drop pass there, good stick lift by Bowman, separating his man from the puck. Sturm steals it back and plays it back now near side for Morrow. Morrow back to Hurley through him, but Sturm backing him up. Taken back there by Jacome. Who wants it? It's Jack Jacome. He's got a goal tonight. Fed along, intercepted there. Trying to gather his Tour Linden on the skate off a feed from Lappinen, but it's swatted right back to the RPI end where they control. Now Ferner gathers a puck off the glass from Hallbauer. Dunn's trying to steal it back. He got the scoring started for these Golden Knights as it's worked up the wall. Jacome bottled up by Ferner. 12 minutes to play in the third period. Clarkson still leading by a 4-0 total. Now Dunn out of the corner far side. He'll cycle for Eagle. Eagle on the move, drops it off, slot, Dunn. Near side Morrow on the circle. He'll fire it off the end boards. Jacome and Eagle. One of them went down. It allows the Engineers to gather. And they move it ahead. Jaron Burke into the Clarkson zone. Dunn, the only one there, chips it off the glass after it was left for him. Back to the RPI zone it goes. D-to-D pass there. Grant for Harris, back to Grant. Tommy Grant down the middle. He'll just dump it in straight ahead, hits the end boards, pops in front of the goal, swept behind by Hurley. Hurley leaves it there for Morrow. Backhand feed far side, waiting for it. Waiting too long there was Tisdale, and DeGrande nearly got there. Puck back out to center ice. Picked up by Ott. He'll feed it off the near boards and in deep. Race for the puck. First one to it, Morrow. Greg Morrow near side. Hit a skate. That was DeGrande. Moved on further by Campoli. Into the RPI zone come the Golden Knights. Sherazin takes a whack. Penalty coming up here on RPI. As Kiley didn't quite have time to get to his bench. 10:46 to go, and another power play coming up here for the Golden Knights. They are 1-4-2.
I don't know exactly if the Engineers are going to be able to afford this penalty kill. I mean, you can see a deflation in their play. They're not as confident out there. Their passes are not on target. They're kind of floppy right now. So it's kind of an unfortunate penalty to be taking. Hopefully they have a strong penalty kill like they've kind of had all game. But with the energy levels lower than normal, it's going to take a lot more effort to have a great penalty kill.
Yeah, this is a good spot for RPI. You're down 4-0, so maybe the result may be out of reach here, but still having those strong plays and having good film and being able to say we still worked hard on this penalty kill is something to take out of this game. Sometimes when it's not about wins and losses at this point in the game, obviously you'd like to come back. There's still 10:46 left, but if you can't come back, at least make a solid push here, kill this penalty strongly, get that penalty kill working again, because they did give up that goal. Remember, late in the most recent Clarkson power play, allowing that goal. First goal they've allowed the man advantage since, well, I guess last weekend when Union went 13 out of 14. But Union scored on his very first power play of the weekend, and then RPI killed off the next 13. So what RPI is looking to do here is to get back, start another streak. Once you give a power play goal, the goal is to start another penalty kill streak, and that's what RPI has to do here.
Right, exactly. And looking back to the start of the season at their RPI's penalty kill, it was definitely a lot weaker. There were a lot of goals scored on them in the penalty kills, so they've improved drastically since then. And 13 penalty kills successfully killed off. That's an amazing statistic. So, like you said, hopefully they can get another streak going of a lot more penalty kills killed.
10:46 to play, 2 minutes on the clock, and the penalty to DeGrande for roughing. Shorthanded Morello, one-on-one with Morrow. Into the zone near circle, takes a shot way high and wide. Looked like he was aiming for the Clarkson band, and the RPI fans and band don't mind that a little bit. 10:35 left, face-off coming up in the Clarkson zone. Of course, Morello from Slingerlands knows all about this rivalry, and as well as the Union one, I'm sure he was excited to beat those kids across the river. Face-off in here for Clarkson in their own zone. Golden Knights have it. Near side Morrow, too far for him. Broken up by Morello in the neutral zone. Golden Knights jump back on it, get it in, however. Sherazin in the corner looking for a feed. Back to the point. Morrow, a shot right onto the save by Marshall, who holds on there. We're 30 seconds into the power play. Still 4-0 Clarkson on top.
Right, and another thing I keep seeing the Engineers falling back into, like I was saying earlier, they're following the puck with their eyes, and I see open men for the Golden Knights out there just waiting for that puck to be fed to them for a perfect opportunity for a shot on Lyndon Marshall while he's distracted getting the initial shot. But once it bounces in the wrong way or he gets the wrong hit off his pad, there's an open man, and the Engineers are not taking note of it exactly.
Out to center ice, gathered in by McCarthy for Clarkson. Right back into the zone they come. It's Eagle far side. Trying to latch onto him is Grant. Into the slot for Dunn. Backdoor feed. Fanning on the aerial pass there was Campoli. And this one will go out of play and come out to neutral ice as Dan Taggart deflected off of the Golden Knight. He says, yes, it was. He's very sure of that. 1:11 to play on, or excuse me, 1:11 left on the power play. 9:57 to play in the third. 4-0 Clarkson leading RPI. ECAC Hockey here on 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. Perry Lascaris and Haley Miller from the Houston Fieldhouse. We're back with you tomorrow night as well. RPI taking on St. Lawrence. Into the zone now, power play chance coming. Sticked away there by Harris to the far corner. Kept in the zone, however, by the Golden Knights. On a wire, McCarthy down low. Throws it through Eagle. Eagle takes a hit there from Whiffen. Brady Whiffen trying to get it out of there, as is Grant. Bottled up by Eagle. Now trying to just pin it in the corner, maybe waste a little time. Golden Knights lift it out to the point. Astrin down low, circle, Eagle. Turning top of the circle now. Pulls it back to the bottom of the circle. Eagle walking around the goal. Dropped it off to Campoli. Up top, center blue line. One-timer McCarthy. He got a lot of that 6'7" frame into that one, but Marshall was able to hold on. 6'7", 230 is Connor McCarthy, the sophomore from LaSalle, Quebec.
And the Engineers, again, keeping a good eye and keeping all the Golden Knights to the exterior, not getting too many great opportunities in front of the net. They're clearing the front so Lyndon Marshall can see everything coming at him. The point shot just now, Lyndon saw every bit of it. He grabbed it with confidence, so it's not going to get through from the exterior like the Engineers are keeping the Golden Knights out to.
Greg Morrow does a nice job to keep it in the zone for a moment, but Morello steals it back and shoots it down. 15 to go on the Clarkson power play, their third of the game. So far 1 for 2. Now Nico Sturm with speed into the zone, far side, all the way around the net goes Sturm. Trying to drop it out in front, intercepted by Morello. Out of the box comes DeGrande in 3. Morello all by himself will flip it on goal, and a stoppage here. Out of the box comes DeGrande. RPI's killed off 2 of 3 now. With 8:44 to play in the third period, will be even strength here in a faceoff coming up in the Clarkson zone. Always a little bit of a question here whether they're going to take the media stoppage when they're coming. Yeah, there's one. Stoppage in play. Take a look around ECAC hockey play. Scores. 2-2. Colgate and Brown are tied in the third period. Cornell leads Yale 3-1. Princeton all over Dartmouth 6-1 in the third period. Quinnipiac leads Harvard 5-3. And in Schenectady, it's Union leading St. Lawrence 4-1. Here it is 4-0 Clarkson over RPI. So St. Lawrence is RPI's opponent tomorrow night. Two of the teams that were picked to finish towards the bottom of the league. And if the Engineers want to climb the league standings from where they did a year ago, it'll be a game they'll be looking to win tomorrow night against the Saints. Of course, you want to win every night.
Right.
But some of the games, more so than others, seem are more ripe for the picking, and the Saints seem a game that RPI, well, if they maybe would have played as they did last weekend, tonight here for at least a couple of those periods, they would have had a better showing. But a couple of breakdowns here, especially early and late in periods. We talked about it already, but that's when Clarkson has jumped on RPI in those first few moments before, at the beginning and end of periods.
Right, exactly. Clarkson's going to jump on the breakdowns that RPI's been having, and they have jumped on 4 opportunities.
Well, taking a stick up high. It's going to be a high stick. Penalty coming up on Clarkson. As Clarkson, do they touch the puck? There it is. Engineers nearly got an extra man on, but they'll get their third power play here nonetheless. It's going to be a high stick. It's going to go on McLean. So a third power play chance here for the Engineers.
An unsuccessful few attempts at the start of the game with their power plays, but who knows what's going to happen during this one necessarily. They are starting off in the offensive zone. Like we've been saying the whole game, they've been winning most of the face-offs, so if they can set this up, they've been unable to successfully set up their power play that I've seen in the past. So Clarkson's been right on top of them, getting the puck out of their zone and having a great penalty kill in their respect. So it's going to be tough.
There's a shot by Moore, hit a leg. Engineers keep it in. Mears Moore, center of the ice for Hallbauer. Can't corral it. Puck out to center. Race for it here. And Moore is going to tie his man up and wait for reinforcements. Moore watched by Sturm. He's able to get free. And RPI will break out once again. Hallbauer near side for Hayhurst into the zone. Drops it off to the point. Shot in by Ott. Hallbauer in the far corner. Still Hallbauer. He's now wrapped up by Underwood. Out of the pile comes Hayhurst. Back to the point for Moore. Keeps it in the zone. Near side Ott. Far side gave it away right onto the tape of Tho. Just shoots it down ice. And the Engineers will go back and pick it up. Mears Moore, senior from Duluth, Minnesota, will start the breakout once more. RPI will change a couple of penalty killers here. As it's Moore, far side, Ferner through his stick. He has to turn back around. He'll head back towards his own end, trying to escape Callan. Still Ferner uses the end boards to find Moore, and RPI starts over again. Third power play chance for the Engineers. They're 0 for 2, of course. It's 4-0 with 7:18 to go. Leppinen lifts it into the far corner. Race for the puck as it deadens there. Schneider snaps it near side for Morrow, and now past everybody out of the zone. Johnson back to get it there. Jake Johnson to the Clarkson line. Leppinen lifts it into the zone. Kiley stops it there, at least slows it down. Knocked out of the air by Burgess. Picked up Johnson. Johnson walking in. Saved by Kiley on the pad. As Johnson tries to move it back to the point. 20 to go on the power play. It was a good chance there. Another giveaway. Clarkson's done that a couple of times. Engineers just haven't been able to take advantage. Leppinen near side for Bowman. 11 to go on the power play. Near point Johnson. His pass broken up. Engineers keep it in the zone. Johnson near side. Bowman, a shot saved by Kiley. Johnson again, now make it Bowman, a centering pass, doesn't make it all the way through. Lifted towards the blue line, kept in there by Ferner. Now it leaves on a diving effort by Dunn. And Clarkson just manages to kill that off. Now Bowman stick handling. Lost in the near corner of the Clarkson zone. McLean, touch pass on for Tisdale. Now out of the zone, Tisdale all by himself makes a nice move. On for McLean, and they're offside at the RPI line. 6:09 to go. You're listening to RPI Hockey on 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. 4-0 is the Clarkson lead here as the Golden Knights are looking to hand RPI its first league loss of the year.
Right, I mean, to comment back on that one opportunity, or those few opportunities right in front of Clarkson's net there for in favor of the Engineers. I mean, Kiley was kind of going all the way around the blue paint, and the Engineers just couldn't get a good handle on it. Clarkson was definitely scrambling. They were diving at the puck. They were trying to get it out. That was an opportunity the Engineers had and just could not get the last touch on.
Certainly, you know, the difference between last week and this is RPI is able to finish. The shots totals are there, if not higher this week than the Union Series. They already have more than they had both of the games against the Dutchmen. Here is DeGrande. Not combined, just individually, but you know what I mean. McCarthy now behind his own goal, chopping it to the near side. Harris, no. McCarthy. He's pinned up by the much smaller Morello. And Morello comes away with a puck, drops it off for Grant, far side circle, takes a shot, hit a leg, and it'll be gathered up by the Golden Knights and moved to center. Nice stick handling there. Joki Harjo, the senior from Finland, playing against another Finnish player, RPI's freshman, Otto Ville Lepinen. And now Harris stick handling, finds Morello, hops off his stick. Right in front of the RPI bench. Jerry tries to shoot it in, but it hits something and goes cross ice for Eagle. Eagle into the RPI zone, tips it around his man Hallbauer. Tried to drop it back. It was read well by Ott, and he'll skate the other way for RPI. His cross ice feed at the blue line hits a leg, and now back comes Clarkson with numbers. Clack across, feeding it through. They score. Pretty goal. It's Eagle. And it's 5-0. The junior from Liepāja, Latvia.
Yeah, I mean, he snuck right in there, right behind the Engineers defenseman there, right in front of Lyndon Marshall. It was just, again, a nice little tip, and the Golden Knights set it up so nicely. They know exactly where their players are going to be, and they know exactly where they have to be in front of the net. So if they lay it out in front of the net, they know somebody on their team is going to be there to finish that puck.
So Eagle picks up his third goal of the season. It's an even strength goal, and it makes it 5-0 as maybe some thought to challenging whether or not they're onside there. It looked on to me live, and no, RPI will not try to challenge this. So it will be a good goal without a review. Puck through center, through everybody. Tommy Grant back to pick it up. Hayhurst drops it back for Johnson. Now Grant into the Clarkson zone, gathered in by Morrow. Threw it off the skate of Tisdale, who drops it off nicely for Dunn. Dunn into the zone. Thrown near side through the stick of Sherizin. And now Dunn and Whiffen go at it in the far corner. Drops it off, tie up there, another shot and a goal. Sherizin ripped it in, I believe, just under the crossbar, and it's 6-0.
It's a tough go right now for the Engineers. I mean, you can see them a little bit hesitant. They're not skating as hard. Their feet aren't moving quite as much. Then Clarkson just has this huge bit of momentum right now behind them. They're just trying to put as many goals up there on the scoreboard to get their first win in ECAC for their season right now. There's a mass exit of the fans, so I'm sure that's not helping the Engineers as they're watching this happen.
I hope they're not too affected by it as Clarkson wins the next draw. Now they move it ahead. Shot up the near wall, McCarthy across. Though a shot hit a boot. Covered up by Marshall. And we get a stoppage here. Kevin Sherizin picks up the goal. It's his second on the season. So, excuse me, third of the season, second of the game. He scored that power play goal to start things off here in the third. 3:45 to go. Clarkson has scored 4 goals here in the third period. And now we're going to get a media stoppage to add a bit of a delay. That was right inside the post. What a shot there. Top right corner. Nothing Marshall could do about that one, especially from a close range.
Right, exactly. He was all the way across the net, and it just came out, and that was a pretty snipe of a shot.
Top right corner from only about, less than 10 feet away. Marshall looked like he was in good position too. Might have even caught a piece of his shoulder. But nonetheless, it's a 6th goal for Clarkson on their 25th shot. RPI still out shooting the Golden Knights 27-25. Out of this media stoppage here. Face off in the RPI zone. So Engineers coming back down to earth here in this one. But the beauty of the weekend's 2 games is that you get a chance to play tomorrow night. That's exactly what RPI needs at this point. Draw here, and it's shot around out to center ice, gathered in by McCarthy. Broken up at center ice. Linden waits for Burke to touch up, and then Linden shoots it out of play. And we got another stoppage, and the clock's still running. Might as well, I guess. That was a joke. They should probably stop the clock.
They probably should stop the clock.
We're not going to running time, folks. This is not mites.
I don't think they're going to add time to the clock back that they just lost either.
Yeah, that was about 10 seconds, but I think everyone here is okay with it. Samick.
I think so.
Lifts it into the near corner. Wrap this one around. And now it'll be knocked down in the RPI zone. Sherazin looking for the hat trick, makes a move. Sliding poke check by Samick, carried on by Jerry to center ice. Hallbauer near side, Samick into the zone. He'll chip it deep and chase on his own. Astron lost his stick, looking for a penalty, not going to get it. Drops it back. Morello, a shot, and that one trickles just wide. Good opportunity there for RPI. Now a shot by Hallbauer, and that's going to be held onto by Kiley, who's looking for another shutout against these Engineers. He did it 3 times last year.
That puck just really seems like it does not want to be the Engineers' favor. It seems like it gets so close to going in every time, and it just barely misses the inside of the net just by a hair every time.
Kiley has 11 career shutouts. None this year, but 3 of them last year against RPI. There's a shot off the draw by Moore. And shot to the corner. Moore trying to jam it home. Good stick there that time by McCarthy to bail out Kiley. And I don't know if he had that post covered. Nice play there by Burgess, trying to jam it in front, knocked out of the air. And Moore has his man tied up in the far corner now. 2:19 to go. Burgess with another hit. And now Hayhurst. Moore trying to wrap it in. Still loose, and now it's covered up by Kiley as Underwood and Moore are wrapped up here. And Underwood taking exception to Moore trying to jam it in, but he was just trying to do what he can. The puck was loose while Moore was going after it.
I mean, you can see the hunger in the Engineers to try to get their first goal against Clarkson in 2 years, as we were talking about earlier, and hopefully breaking Kiley's streak of having 3 shutouts last year against RPI, and then today being the 4th one that he's had. So
it's still on the line, even though it's 6-0.
Right, exactly.
Face-off win for Clarkson here in their own zone. Burke and Astron go into the corner. Schneider far side. Kept in by Ferner. Astron and Burke are still a little bit wrapped up there. Now a huge hit there by Burke on Astron. That'll get him going. Burke behind the goal, trying to find out. We got a penalty coming up. It's going to be a trip. And I believe it's going on Clarkson, so RPI will be on the power play. You're looking for that goal. This is your opportunity. 4th man advantage of the night for RPI. Comes with 1:52 to go. And as we talked about, Haley, though it's 6-0, it would mean a lot for RPI to break up this shutout and snap their streak, or goalless streak against Clarkson.
Right, exactly. Anything will help at this point. A goal on the board is a goal on the board. It's no goose egg up there, so it's going to be a different ending to the game. It'll be a little bit more positive and hopefully help the Engineers with tomorrow against SLU leading into tomorrow.
Ferner off the draw, takes a wrist shot, tipped on goal by Leppinen, and a
quick whistle.
A little bit of a quick whistle. I was going to say, you're right, exactly right there. Quick whistle there. It was under the glove of Kiley, and then it might have popped out, but got the benefit of the doubt there.
Right. I wonder if they're just calling quicker whistles because they know it's getting a little bit aggressive in front of the net. But nonetheless, definitely a quick whistle, as it was definitely loose.
Yeah, you're right. I think they're trying to slow the extra stuff.
Right.
1:46 to go in the 3rd. Now Ferner off the draw. Another win for the Engineers. Burgess takes a shot, hit a leg. Rebound caroms to the far circle. First one there is Callan, and he'll move it down ice as it's gathered in there. Off the wall, Callan shorthanded, takes a hit from Burgess, and the puck comes free to Johnson. The game clock has less time on it than the penalty clock, so RPI is going to be in the power play for the rest of this game, barring a goal. 1:18 left. Out of the corner comes Leppinen. Stick handling in the corner. Takes a shove from Tho. And lost the puck, and it's cleared out by Tisdale. Stopped there by Marshall. Approaching a minute to go in the third period. And the longtime chant of the RPI fans, not quite as strong here with a 6-0 deficit here, as it's iced now by RPI with 51.2 seconds left. Shots are 33-25 RPI, but they trail 6-0. And the faceoff will be sent all the way down, 51.2. Cap Carey's telling me that one of the shutouts last year was Latinovich, so this would be the third straight. Thanks, Cap. This would be the third straight if Kylie's able to get it. Latinovich had one of the two against RPI last season. Now Hayhurst, stick handling far side. He finds Whiffen. Now Moore, a shot, redirected in front, swatted towards the line, kept in by Whiffen. Up the wall and now down low. 26 seconds left. Puck to the far side, picked up by Hallbauer. Gets a nice job to get back to his feet. Puck comes free to the point for Moore. 15 seconds to go. Whiffen, far side. Far side, Hayhurst. Hands it off for Moore. 8 seconds to play in the game. Near side, Hayhurst. Hayhurst makes a move. Drop pass. Given away. Sent down ice, and that will do it. The Golden Knights shut out RPI once again. The 4th consecutive shutout overall. The 3rd for Jake Kiley against these Engineers as RPI falls for the first time in league play. Clarkson 1-0 in the conference. They're 4-2 overall. RPI's overall record is now 2-4. But as we mentioned, RPI, you don't like the score line here. Maybe the effort for the later stage of this game wasn't what you wanted, but the good news is they get to go at it tomorrow night and a chance to redeem themselves.
Right, exactly. After starting strong, deflating a little bit throughout the game and not ending the way they definitely wanted it to end with 6-0 loss, the Engineers are able to come back tomorrow against St. Lawrence with a fresh start, and hopefully they're able to continually keep that effort that they had in that first period today for tomorrow, and hopefully with another ECAC win tomorrow in RPI's favor is the hope.
Certainly the case. So I'll run down the scoring here in this game, and Haley will come up with their offensive and defensive Engineers. Not an easy task in this 6-0 game, but that's why Haley is one of the good ones. She'll come up with her too, I'm sure. Scoring started back in the first period, 1926. Josh Dunn, his 4th of the year from Greg Morrow and Grant Cooper, made it 1-0. And then at 17:23 of the second, Nico Sturm, his 2nd of the season from Morrow and Chris Clack, made it 2-0. A power play goal by Kevin Sherzin, his first of 2 on the night from Morrow and Sturm, made it 3-0. And then Jake Jacome at 2:18 of the third made it 4-0. Harold's Eagle scored his 3rd goal of the season at 15:50 in the 3rd period from Clack and Schneider. They made it 5-0, and then the 6th goal was scored at 16:01. Sherzin, his 2nd of the game from Dunn and Tisdale. Kiley made 34 saves for the win for Clarkson. He stopped all 16 shots he faced in the 3rd period. He was solid for the Golden Knights in picking up that shutout. It wasn't one of those cheapies you get. Lyndon Marshall had 20 stops at the other end of the ice. Certainly not the effort he wanted after being named the goaltender of the week. But RPI has work to do between now and tomorrow when they face the Saints, who look to be on their way to a defeat at the hands of Union. Let me just check on that quick before your offensive and defensive Engineers.
Short.
Haley, it is over. 4-1 Union over St. Lawrence. Quickly the rest of the scores. Quinnipiac 5, Harvard 3, Princeton 7, Dartmouth 1. That game's not quite over apparently. And then Cornell 3, Yale 2, and Brown and Colgate are headed to overtime, tied 2-2.
Okay, so for offensive player of the game for the Engineers, I would say Jacob Hayhurst. I mean, he's continually throughout every single game, his feet are always moving. He's always got the effort there, and he's always like one of the fastest people on the ice. And then for defensive player of the game, I'd say Tommy Grant. Tommy Grant's always holding the back of his net. He's always got his head on a swivel. He's always looking around, and he's always in there for Lyndon Marshall's assistance. And he's really communicative out there on the ice. He's always communicating with his teammates, his other defense, and Lyndon Marshall in general. So Tommy Grant and Jacob Hayhurst.
Well, Thank you very much, Haley. Great job tonight, as always. Before we go, we'd like to thank the Rensselaer Union, which provides the funding for WRPI and all the club-related activity of the Institute, including WRPI's coverage of RPI hockey, football, and baseball. A reminder, WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to WRPI.org. You can pick up our broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so long as WRPI is broadcasting. We'll provide that broadcast on our internet feed. Once again, that's WRPI.org. I'd like to thank Parker Pollock back at the station for getting us on the air and keeping us there. Thank you, Parker. Before we go, also, we'd like to remind you the next RPI Sports broadcast is tomorrow at noon. The 15th ranked RPI football team takes on St. Lawrence in an opportunity to clinch the Liberty League Championship and a spot in the NCAA tournament with a win tomorrow against the Saints. Our next hockey broadcast is right back here tomorrow night, 7 o'clock p.m. Engineers taking on St. Lawrence. For Haley Miller, I'm Perry Lascaris. Thanking you once again for listening to tonight's game. Your final score was Clarkson 6 and RPI nothing. You've been listening to live coverage of RPI hockey on 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy.